And then, once you start, do not stop. Do not let doubt pull you back. Do not let fear make you hesitate. Move forward with full commitment, with full belief, with the absolute certainty that no matter how long it takes, no matter what obstacles come your way, you are going to see it through. You have to be stronger than your excuses. You have to be more committed to your goals than your fears. You have to decide that you are done living the same way, done making the same mistakes, done holding yourself back. And when you do that, when you finally make that decision and stand by it, everything in your life will start to change, because decisions shape destiny. And the moment you make a real one, you will never be the same again. Number 5, replace emotional reactions with thoughtful responses. There will always be moments in life that test you, situations that push your buttons, people that say things that frustrate you, disappointments that shake your confidence. And in those moments, you have two choices. You can react emotionally, let anger take over, let frustration cloud your judgment, let fear dictate your next move, or you can take control and respond with thoughtfulness, with clarity, with strength. One path keeps you stuck. The other moves you forward. Most people don't realize how much their emotional reactions are controlling their lives. They think they're making choices, but in reality, they're being controlled by their emotions. Something happens and they react without thinking. Someone says something negative and they let it ruin their whole day. They get bad news and suddenly they spiral into hopelessness. They feel fear and instead of pushing through, they give up. This is how most people live, always reacting, always letting their emotions take the driver's seat. And the result? Regret. Because when you react emotionally, you often say things you don't mean, do things you wish you hadn't, and make choices that don't serve your future. But the people who win in life, the people who stay in control, they don't operate that way. They don't let emotions dictate their decisions. They don't let temporary feelings shape permanent outcomes. They train themselves to pause, to think, to act with wisdom, not just impulse, because they understand something powerful. Emotions are temporary, but the consequences of reacting emotionally can last a lifetime. Think about it. How many times in your life have you said something out of anger and regretted it later? How many times have you made a decision based on fear and realized later that it was the wrong choice? How many times have you let frustration make you give up, only to wish later that you had stuck with it? That's what emotional reactions do. They cloud your judgment. They make small problems feel bigger than they are. They push you into decisions that don't align with your long-term goals. You have to start catching yourself in those moments. The moment you feel anger rising, the moment frustration starts creeping in, the moment fear makes you want to run, pause. Don't react. Don't say the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't let emotions hijack your thinking. Take a breath, step back, give yourself a moment to process before you act. Because once you do that, something powerful happens. You take back control. You start responding instead of reacting, and that's when you become dangerous in the best way possible. Because when you are in control of yourself, nothing and no one can manipulate you. Most people don't even try to control their emotions. They say, "That's just how I am," or "I can't help it." But that's not true. You can train yourself. You can build the habit of pausing, of thinking, of responding with wisdom. It's a skill, and like any skill, the more you practice it, the better you get. The more you catch yourself before reacting, the more you build the ability to handle pressure, to stay calm, to think clearly, no matter what is happening around you. Because life is unpredictable. You will face problems, you will encounter people who try to bring you down, you will deal with situations that don't go your way, and if you're always reacting emotionally, you will always feel out of control. You will always be at the mercy of your feelings, but if you train yourself to respond thoughtfully, you become unshakable. You become the person who stays calm in the storm, who makes smart decisions under pressure, who doesn't let temporary emotions ruin long-term goals. Imagine how different your life would be if you mastered this skill. Imagine how much more respect you would earn if people knew they couldn't push your buttons, that you don't break under pressure, that you don't let small things control you. Imagine how much more peace you would feel if you weren't constantly getting upset over things that don't matter in the long run. Imagine how much more success you would have if, instead of reacting emotionally, you responded with strategy, with intelligence, with power. This is what separates average people from high achievers. The average person reacts. They get emotional, they take things personally, they waste time and energy on things that don't matter. But the high achiever, the person who is going places, they think before they act. They don't let small setbacks break them. They don't let negative people shake them. They stay focused, they stay in control, and because of that, they always have the advantage. This is your challenge. Starting today, start catching yourself before you react. When something upsets you, pause. When fear creeps in, pause. When frustration builds up, pause. Give yourself a moment to think before you speak, before you act, before you decide. Because that one habit, that one change in how you handle situations will transform your life in ways you can't even imagine. The people who master this skill, they don't just achieve more, they live better. They have better relationships, better opportunities, better control over their future. Because they are no longer prisoners of their emotions. They don't react, they respond. And that changes everything. Number 6, condition your mind for high performance thinking. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever have. It determines your success, your failures, your confidence, your self-doubt, everything. The way you think shapes the way you live. But here's the problem. Most people don't train their minds. They don't condition their thinking for success. They let their thoughts run wild, filled with negativity, doubt, and fear. And they wonder why they can't seem to break through, why they feel stuck, why they can't get to that next level in life. It's because they never took control of their own mind. They never built the habits that create high-performance thinking. High-performance thinking isn't something you're born with. It's not luck. It's not some natural ability that only a few people have. It's a habit. It's a mindset that you build every single day. And if you don't train your mind, if you don't condition it, the world will condition it for you. The negativity around you will take over, the fear will take over, the doubts will take over, and before you know it, you're operating at a fraction of your potential. That's what happens when you don't take control of your thoughts. Every day you have to wake up and take command of your mind. You have to decide what kind of thoughts you will allow in, because your mind is like a garden. If you don't take care of it, if you don't remove the weeds, the negativity will grow. And the only way to stop it is to actively condition your mind for success, for resilience, for confidence, for power. You have to build the habit of feeding your mind with the right things. Start by paying attention to the thoughts that run through your head. Are they empowering you or holding you back? Are they making you stronger or weaker? Most people don't even realize how negative their thinking is because they've never stopped to examine it. They just accept whatever thoughts come up. But if you want to perform at a high level in life, you can't afford to do that. You have to challenge those thoughts. You have to rewire your thinking because your thoughts are shaping your future. The way you think affects the way you feel, and the way you feel affects the way you act, and the way you act determines the results you get in life. If your mind is filled with doubt, you'll hesitate. If your mind is filled with fear, you won't take action. If your mind is filled with negativity, you'll sabotage your own success. But if your mind is trained for high performance, if it's conditioned for confidence, for resilience, for discipline, you become unstoppable. This is why successful people think differently. It's not because they are smarter or luckier. It's because they have trained themselves to think at a higher level. They have built mental toughness. They have created a habit of high performance thinking. And because of that, they act differently. They move differently. They don't waste time with negative thoughts. They don't let fear stop them. They don't let setbacks break them. They keep going. They keep pushing. They keep winning. You have to start building this mindset now. You have to start training yourself to think in a way that serves your future. Stop letting old habits of negative thinking hold you back. Stop entertaining thoughts that weaken you. Every time you catch yourself thinking something that doesn't serve you, replace it with something that does. Every time fear creeps in, remind yourself that you are capable. Every time doubt shows up, remind yourself that you have overcome challenges before. Every time negativity tries to take over, shift your focus to what you can do, what you can control, what you can build. Most people don't do this because it takes effort. It's easy to let your thoughts control you. It's easy to stay in a cycle of doubt and fear. But easy won't get you anywhere. If you want to achieve more, if you want to be better, if you want to reach your highest potential, you have to do the work. You have to build the habit of thinking like a high performer, because once you do, everything changes. Imagine what your life would look like if you had complete control over your thoughts. Imagine how much more you could accomplish if you never let doubt slow you down. Imagine how powerful you would be if you trained your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems, on possibilities instead of limitations. That's what high-performance thinking does. It turns you into a person who can handle anything, a person who doesn't break under pressure, a person who moves with confidence, who acts with purpose, who achieves what others only dream about. This is not about motivation. It's about discipline. It's about rewiring your brain for success. Because when you build the habit of high-performance thinking, success is no longer a question. It becomes a certainty. You won't have to wonder if you're going to win. You will know, because you have trained your mind to operate at the highest level. And once you do that, nothing can stop you. Number 7, reconstruct your identity around strength, not weakness. There comes a point in life when you have to decide who you really are, not who the world says you are, not who your past mistakes try to define you as, not even who your own doubts whisper you might be. No, you have to reconstruct your identity based on your strength, not your weakness. Because if you let weakness define you, if you let failures and insecurities dictate the way you see yourself, you'll never break free from the cycle of limitation. You'll stay stuck. You'll keep playing small. You'll keep doubting yourself, and worst of all, you'll keep proving yourself right. That's the dangerous part. When you believe you're weak, you act weak. When you believe you're not capable, you don't even try. And then you look around and say, see, I knew I wasn't good enough. That's how people trap themselves in a life they don't want, but you don't have to stay there. You can decide right now that from this moment on, your identity will be built around your strength. Not your fears, not your doubts, not your failures, only your strength. The problem is most people never take the time to decide who they are. They accept whatever identity has been given to them by family, by teachers, by society, by past mistakes. Someone calls them lazy and they believe it. Someone tells them they're not smart and they carry that label for years. They fail once and suddenly they see themselves as a failure forever. That's how most people live, but you can't afford to think like that. Because the way you see yourself determines everything. The way you act, the risks you take, the opportunities you chase, the challenges you face, the goals you believe you can reach. Your identity is the foundation of your success or your downfall. And if you want to rise, you have to reconstruct that foundation the right way. Strength is not about never failing. It's not about being fearless. It's not about having all the answers. Strength is about resilience. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you will get back up. It's about proving to yourself that you can handle anything, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when you feel like giving up. That's strength. That's the identity you need to build. But here's the key. No one is going to give you that identity. No one is going to come along and tell you, you are strong now. No one is going to hand you confidence, discipline, or self-belief. That's something you have to take for yourself. That's something you have to build brick by brick every single day. Look at how you talk to yourself. Pay attention to the words you use in your own mind, because those words are shaping your identity. Do you tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you always mess things up, that you'll never succeed? Or do you tell yourself that you are strong, that you are capable, that you can handle whatever comes your way? If you've been feeding yourself negative beliefs, it's time to stop. It's time to tear down the identity that's been holding you back and build a new one. Think about the strongest version of yourself. Think about the person you want to be, the version of you who doesn't give up, who pushes through fear, who stands tall even when things get tough. That version of you already exists. It's not some distant dream. It's inside you. Right now, you just have to bring it out. You have to act like that person every day. Because identity is not something you wait for. It's something you create. You don't become strong by waiting for strength to appear. You become strong by making strong choices, by thinking strong thoughts, by taking strong actions. And the more you do that, the more your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who does. You stop seeing yourself as someone who wants to change and start seeing yourself as someone who is already changing. That's the key. You have to live as that person now. Not someday, not when you feel like it. Right now. There will be moments when you feel like the old version of you is trying to pull you back, when the doubts creep in, when the fear tries to take over, when you feel like slipping into old habits. That's the test. That's the moment when you decide, am I going to stay the same, or am I going to fight for the identity I want? Because make no mistake, it is a fight. Your mind will try to pull you back into what's comfortable, into what's familiar. But you have to stand your ground. You have to remind yourself that you are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your fears. You are only what you decide to be today. Start proving your new identity to yourself, not with words, but with actions. You don't need to convince anyone else, just you. If you say you're strong, then act strong. If you say you're disciplined, then keep your promises to yourself. If you say you're confident, then walk like it, talk like it, move like it. Because every time you do, you're reinforcing your identity. You're telling your mind, this is who I am now. And the more you do that, the more real it becomes. You don't have to be perfect to build a strong identity. You just have to be consistent. Every small choice you make is either reinforcing weakness or reinforcing strength. Every time you push past fear, every time you refuse to give up, every time you take one more step when you feel like stopping, you are proving to yourself that you are strong. And once you start seeing yourself that way, everything changes. Because when you believe in your own strength, you stop looking for approval, you stop waiting for permission, and you stop holding yourself back. You move differently, you think differently. You become the kind of person who makes things happen. So right now in this moment, decide who you are. Decide that from this day forward, your identity is built on strength. No more doubting yourself. No more carrying around old labels. No more acting like someone you don't want to be. From now on, you stand tall, you move with confidence, you take control of your life. Because when you reconstruct your identity around strength, nothing can break you. Nothing can stop you. And that is when you become truly unstoppable. Number 8, avoid people who drain your energy. There comes a time in your life when you have to make a decision, not just about what you want to do, but about who you allow to be around you. Because whether you realize it or not, the people you surround yourself with are shaping your mindset, your energy, and your future. Some people add to your life. They push you forward. They challenge you to be better. And then there are the others, the ones who drain your energy, who bring nothing but negativity, who pull you down every chance they get. These are the people you cannot afford to keep in your life. Because if you do, you will never reach your full potential. There are people who will never support your growth, not because you're doing something wrong, but because they can't stand to see you rise. They are comfortable where they are. And the moment you start changing, the moment you start working on yourself, they feel threatened. They see you putting in the effort, making sacrifices, pushing yourself beyond what they ever dared to do. And instead of being inspired, they feel insecure. So what do? They try to pull you back. They make fun of your goals. They tell you it's impossible. They remind you of every time you've failed before. They discourage you. And if you're not careful, if you're not strong, you'll start listening to them. You'll start doubting yourself. You'll start believing that maybe they're right. That's how dreams die. Not because of failure, but because of the wrong people whispering in your ear. You need to understand this. Your energy is everything. The way you feel, the way you think, the way you act, it all comes down to your energy. And if you let the wrong people drain you, if you let them fill your mind with negativity, self-doubt, and excuses, you will never break free. You will stay stuck. You will carry their weight on your shoulders. And before you know it, you'll be moving slower, thinking smaller, giving up easier, not because you wanted to, but because they made you believe that's all you were capable of. You cannot let that happen. You cannot allow toxic people to rob you of your potential. Sometimes the hardest thing you'll ever do is walk away from people you once cared about. Friends, coworkers, even family members. People who have been a part of your life for years. But you need to ask yourself, are these people pushing me forward or holding me back? Are they lifting me up or draining me dry? Because here's the truth. Just because someone has been in your life for a long time doesn't mean they deserve a place in your future. Loyalty should never come at the cost of your own growth. There are people who are always complaining, always blaming, always talking about what's wrong with the world. And the more time you spend around them, the more their negativity seeps into you. At first, you might think you're just listening, just being a good friend. But over time, you start picking up their habits. You start focusing on the negatives. You start seeing obstacles instead of opportunities. You start making excuses instead of taking action. And before you know it, you're living in the same cycle they are, stuck, frustrated, and blaming everything except yourself. That's what happens when you surround yourself with people who drain your energy. You need to be ruthless about who you let into your circle. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves to be in your space, to hear your ideas, to be a part of your journey. You need people who challenge you, who push you, who inspire you to be better, people who celebrate your wins, who encourage your growth, who make you feel stronger, not weaker. Those are the people who deserve a place in your life. Anyone else. You need to distance yourself. And I know it's not always easy. It's not easy to cut ties with people you've known for years. It's not easy to say no to those who have been a part of your past. But you have to understand, your future is more important than your past. And if you want to get to where you're going, you can't afford to carry dead weight. Start paying attention to how you feel after spending time with certain people. Do you feel motivated, energized, excited about your goals? Or do you feel drained, frustrated, full of doubt? Because that feeling is your answer. The wrong people will drain you in ways you don't even realize. They don't have to say anything negative directly. They just bring an energy that pulls you down. And over time, that energy can destroy your motivation, your confidence, and your belief in yourself. That's why you have to make a change now. It's not about being cruel. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about protecting your energy. It's about understanding that your time, your focus, your mental state, these are your most valuable assets. And if you spend them on the wrong people, you won't have anything left for yourself. You won't have the energy to chase your goals, to build the life you want, to become the person you're meant to be. Some people will try to make you feel guilty for distancing yourself. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're being selfish. And you know what? They're right, you have changed, and you are being selfish with your energy, with your time, with your future, and that's exactly how it should be. Because the only people who get upset when you set boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. Right now, you need to make a choice. Are you going to keep allowing toxic people to drain you? Are you going to keep letting their negativity control your mindset, your energy, your life? Or are you going to take control? Surround yourself with people who lift you up and protect your energy like your success depends on it, because it does. The people around you are either fueling your fire or putting it out. And if you want to win, if you want to grow, if you want to become the person you know you can be, you need to choose wisely, because your future depends on it. Number 9, keep moving forward no matter what. Life doesn't always go as planned. In fact, it rarely does. The road to success is often filled with unexpected twists, bumps, and detours. There will be times when things don't go your way, when the obstacles seem too big, the challenges too tough, and the odds stacked against you. But here's the thing. Those are the moments when you have to keep moving forward, no matter what. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going the way you imagined. When you've put in all that effort and still face failure after failure, it can feel like the universe is against you. You start doubting yourself. You question whether all the hard work, the late nights, the sacrifices were worth it. And in those moments, the temptation to stop, to give up, to throw in the towel becomes overwhelming. But you have to understand something important. Those moments of struggle, of doubt, are the exact moments when you need to push the hardest. You see, success is not about avoiding failure. It's not about never encountering setbacks. No one has a straight path to success. Everyone faces challenges. Everyone has doubts. But what separates the ones who succeed from the ones who don't is their ability to keep moving forward in the face of adversity. You can't let the tough times stop you. You can't let the setbacks define you. You need to get back up, no matter how many times life knocks you down. Think about the great achievers in history. Think about the people who changed the world, the people who made a real impact. Were their lives smooth sailing? Were they free of challenges, setbacks, or failures? Absolutely not. They faced rejection, criticism, disappointment, and failure, just like you. The difference was they didn't let any of that stop them. They didn't quit when things got hard. They didn't throw in the towel when the world told them they couldn't do it. They kept going, even when every part of them was screaming to stop. And that's why they succeeded. The key to making progress, to achieving greatness, lies in your ability to keep moving forward no matter how hard it gets. The greatest achievements in life don't come from moments of comfort. They come from moments of struggle. Every time you feel like giving up, every time you face another setback, that's just life giving you another chance to prove yourself. That's another opportunity to show the world what you're made of. Now, I know it's not easy. It's easy to say keep moving forward, but when you're in the thick of it, when you're facing failure after failure, it feels impossible. It feels like you're running on empty, like you don't have the strength to keep going. But this is where your mental toughness comes in. You have to train yourself to keep moving forward even when you don't feel like it. You have to build that muscle of resilience, that ability to push through the tough times. The truth is, you'll never feel fully ready. You'll never feel like you have it all figured out. And guess what? That's okay. It's all part of the process. You don't need to know exactly how everything will unfold. You don't need to have all the answers. What you need to do is show up day after day and keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. Here's the secret that most people don't tell you. Progress doesn't always look like progress. There will be days when you feel like you're stuck, when it seems like you're not getting anywhere. But the truth is, every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Every single day that you don't give up, every time you choose to move forward instead of quitting, is progress. It may not be obvious, but it's happening. And one day, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. Success isn't a destination, it's a journey. And that journey requires you to keep moving forward, no matter what. It's about showing up every day, even when things are tough, even when you don't feel like it, even when you doubt yourself. It's about pushing through the fear, the uncertainty, and the setbacks, and knowing that every step you take is one step closer to your goal. When you're in the middle of a struggle, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I promise you, it's there. The hard times won't last forever. The tough moments won't define you. The challenges will pass, and you'll come out the other side stronger, smarter, and more capable than ever before. But only if you keep moving forward. So the next time you face a setback, the next time you want to quit, I want you to remember this. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding failure. They didn't get there by giving up when things got tough. They got there by keeping moving forward. They got there by staying persistent, by staying resilient, by refusing to let failure define them. You have that same power inside of you. The power to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep moving forward no matter what. You just have to make the decision to do it. And when you do, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. Keep moving forward, and nothing can stop you. Number 10, decide right now that you will win. There's one thing that all successful people have in common, no matter who they are or where they come from. And that one thing is this: they made the decision to win. And I'm not talking about some vague decision, some wishful thinking or hoping that things work out. I'm talking about a deep, committed decision, a decision that comes from the core of who they are. They decided right then and there that they would win no matter the odds, no matter the obstacles, and no matter how many setbacks they encountered along the way. Success doesn't come by accident. It's not something that just happens to you if you sit around long enough and wait. You have to decide to win. You have to make the choice that you will succeed and then go all in no matter what. But making that decision is where most people go wrong. They sit on the fence, unsure of what they want. And because of that uncertainty, they miss the opportunity to truly commit to their success. It's time to stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the right moment, that moment you've been waiting for. It's right now. The decision to win is something you can make today. You don't need to wait for everything to line up perfectly, for all the stars to align. You don't need to wait for someone else to tell you that you're ready. You're ready now. The only thing standing in your way is the decision to take action. Think about the people you look up to, the ones who have achieved great things, who have reached the heights you aspire to. What makes them different from you? Do they have some kind of special talent that you don't? No. The only thing that separates them from the person who doesn't achieve their dreams is the decision to win. They decided that success was non-negotiable. They decided that they would keep going until they succeeded. And that's exactly what they did. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. It doesn't matter if the world tells you it's too hard, too competitive, or too risky. If you decide that you will win, nothing can stop you. The moment you make that decision, you unlock a new level of focus, of power, and of determination. You become unstoppable. But you've got to be ready for the sacrifices that come with making that decision. Winning isn't easy. It requires hard work, long hours, and sometimes it will feel like the world is against you. There will be days when you feel like quitting, when the obstacles seem too big and the journey feels too long. But that's when your decision will matter the most. Because when you've made the decision to win, you don't quit when things get tough. You push harder, you find a way, you dig deeper. You've got to develop a mindset that is locked in on your goal. You can't afford to let distractions derail you, to let negativity from others shake your resolve. This isn't a game, this is your life. And if you've made the decision that you will win, then everything you do from this point forward must align with that decision. Every choice you make, every action you take must be in service of your success. It's time to stop making excuses. It's time to stop holding back. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to go after them. And that decision, when made with absolute certainty and commitment, will change everything. You'll start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You'll start to find solutions where you once saw problems. And slowly but surely, you'll start to build momentum. The more you move toward your goal, the more you will believe that success is inevitable. You need to understand that success doesn't belong to the lucky or the talented. Success belongs to those who make the decision to keep going, to keep fighting, and to never back down.